Hello guys and welcome. Let's get straight to it right away. This is an N55. This 435 XI M-Pack came in. Motor wasn't turning, turned out to be seized. Cylinder 1 rod seized on the bearing. Typical N55 issues with cranks and bearings and whatnot. I got everything cleaned up. Put some oil, set it in. I want to show you guys something that I've learned. I did some measuring and was pretty curious about it, and ended up being what I thought it would be, which is a perfect fit and a very nice upgrade also. Everybody knows that N55 cranks come cast. They're very weak, not strong, useless pretty much. And you have the older brother, which was the N54 that came with forged crankshafts, which were good for 800, 900 horsepower plus. Very strong, solid crankshafts. So what I wanted to know is, does it fit? And if yes, what needs to be done for it to fit? So we went ahead and sent this N54 crank to machining, got it all checked out. Everything's A1 on it now. Sat it in, noticed some differences. I'm going to explain to you guys all the differences. So the N55 engine has, first of all, a 6-bolt flywheel in the back of the crank. Also has a magnetic crank sensor instead of having, like the N54 does, a ring inside. This does not cause a problem whatsoever. It fits, doesn't touch anything. The cylinder block, like it's built identical as the N54. A few little upgrades here and there, but nothing really different. So when using N54 cranks, you have two versions. You have the 6-bolt version, which will sit right in, and you won't need to change much in the back part. And if you get an 8-bolt, like I did, you're gonna need the flywheel of that 8-bolt. So I've compared them. This is the N55 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. This is the N54, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. So I've compared height, bolts, center bore, heights of the torque converter bolts, differences in the placement of the bolts, the ring gear itself, even in the back. If you're doing timing on a N54, N55, whichever, you'll know, you must know that you need to put that pin in the middle, in the back, under the starter to time your crankshaft to TDC. I've compared both of them. They come exactly at the same place. The piston is TDC on both of them once the pin is put in. So now that that's good, I've even measured like the distance from your flex plate to the block, and it's identical. Identical. They have exactly the same measurements. So once you have that done and you know you're good for your flywheel, you're gonna need this little ring that comes on the N55. This is actually 6-bolt, and didn't make those on the N54s. This is actually the gear for your crank sensor. So on the N55s, instead of having this, they don't have this. It's plain empty there. They have this, which goes in the back. So obviously you're saying 6 bolts, 8-bolt, wow, it doesn't fit, how? So if you align them here, this is the 6-bolt, they fit perfectly. So you could go ahead, you'll always see you have that one that's like smaller, that's the pin, because you have like, I don't know if you guys can see it, a pin right there, that has to sit on it. So you align your pin here, and basically what you're gonna do is like extend the holes. As you can see, you have 1, 2, and 3 that are actually lined up, but you have another like 5 to go. So you need you cut it open a bit, cut it open, make sure you have access through all your bolt. This doesn't matter because once it's bolted in, this is not moving anymore. So it's perfect. Even the little center bore fits perfectly. Everything fits perfectly. So now that that's out of the question, there's another slight modification you need to do on the front hub. the crank hub in the front for your dampener and your timing gear sprockets to go on. So I've compared them, they're fairly identical. Just that this part is like kodig, I don't know how to say it in English, it's like grooved. This one is flat, but the dimensions are identical, so it does not matter. Also, this is N54. You notice how there's a hole, like the bolt actually goes into the hub, whether the N55 here, the bolt is flush out. So, and the N55 has 8 bolts for the dampener compared to the N54, which has 6 bolts. So you obviously can't use the N54 one, right? What you need to do is grab your N55, go to your local machine shop, or maybe you have a metal lathe yourself. And this is mine. This is the one I've gotten ready. If you notice, same height as the N54. They're identical. I've got the center machined down to what the N54 would be on the N55 one. So you can notice the difference here. This one has a hole, this one doesn't. And that's the only real mod you need to do, because what happens is the N55 has a different bolt and it's bigger than the N54, so obviously won't fit on the N54 crank. And this one is shorter, so it won't work on the hub because it doesn't go out enough unless you machine it in the middle to go in like it's supposed to. Then you have enough tread to actually grab on. And that's about it. That's all you need. So the hub machined, ready to install. N54 crankshaft sitting in the N55 cylinder block. Going to be ready for all kinds of power. Went ahead and did the piston ring since we were there. We wanted to get it out of the way. And yeah, that's about it. Hope it helps you out.